And so then we get into the fun one of correlation versus causation. Would perfect correlation be good enough? The problem we're addressing is how naturalists might account for moral realism for the human independent experience of moral laws. And then he says, as we saw, there's something to the naturalistic view. Harris makes a plausible case for connecting well-being to morality. After all, it can be difficult to find examples in which a morally wrong action doesn't harm someone without reason. But harm does seem to track with moral wrongness. Okay, so let's suppose it does. That is, we'll assume that only morally wrong actions harm someone for no good reason. Moreover, let's assume that all and only morally right actions are those that don't harm someone for no good reason. I think that's being very generous, very generous. Now, if there were right and morality and well-being tracked together perfectly, would it be enough to secure Harris's view to show that morality is only a matter of well-being of sentient creatures? Or, to put the question more precisely, would Harris be correct in saying that well-being is what makes actions right? That's what we're asking. Well, certainly not. Merely in virtue of the fact, supposing it's a fact, that morally wrong actions always decrease the well-being of relevant individuals for no good reason, and morally right actions don't.
Right, so he's making the point of this correlation causation issue, right?
Right.
Yeah. Just because they correlate doesn't mean that,
Right.
Yeah.
I used to think that he's got the joke here from xkcd.com. I used to think correlation imputed causation. Then I took a statistics class. Now I don't. Sounds like like the class helped. Well, maybe.
Yeah, it might be just correlation.
Yeah, right. So
there's a distinction between correlation, where two things that are going together, and causation, where one thing is causing another.
Right.
And just because two things are tracking together doesn't mean that one or the other is causing the other.
And we did this in his science section with our graphs on the volume and temperature, but we also did it with pirates and global warming. So less pirates, more global warming. We need more pirates out in the world.
That's right.
It's not always the case. Of course, in many important cases, it's not always easy to distinguish correlation and causation. But I think there is reasons to doubt the column that well-being is what causes or makes an action moral or immoral.
Yeah, so let's just say claim.
Oh, I'm sorry, claim.
Yeah.
Yes, we crossed out in our first reading. The claim that well-being is what causes or makes an act moral or immoral.
Yeah.
Because,
how do we know that those things correlate, right? Well-being and morality.
And it only seems like if you're looking, the road to hell is paved in good intentions. But you look back and you say, oh, it's so good that, the invasion of D-Day happened because, it was there that the Allies drew the line and pushed the Nazis back. Well, what if the best course of action was taking the Pacific and leaving, Hitler alone completely, and maybe that would be the case. Well, which cause or causation would provide the most for our well-being? Well, it depends on which side of the line you stand. So think of it another way. Taking the thermometer example further. There was a good thermometer example.
That was a good example. Why don't you share that one?
So here's an example. The reading on the thermometer outside your kitchen window tracks the outside temperature. Whenever the thermometer reading increases or decreases, as it does here a lot in Michigan, the temperature outside also increases or decreases proportionally, right? A standard thermometer. Heat goes up, the mercury rises. Temperature goes down, mercury drops. But obviously the thermometer has no reading. Obviously the thermometer reading has no effect on the temperature outside your window. The causal chain runs in the other direction. Why? You're not. If you could.
Look, the thermometer is going up. It's going to get hot outside.
Yeah. If I was to turn the thermometer upside down and it ran down, then it's going to get hot. That's how we make it hot around here. So then he wants to take the thermometer example further. Notice that the thermometer reading can be an accurate indicator of temperature, but the temperature itself, the heat or energy contained in the air surrounding the thermometer, is caused by the motion of air molecules. Similarly, it may be that unnecessary harm is a good indicator or detector of a wrong act, but it need not be what makes the act wrong. And so you can kind of think about this of early in the morning, and sun rises in the east, sets in the west, and your thermometer is facing east, and for an hour it's got direct sunlight where it hasn't had it. That mercury took a while to heat up, and so it spikes, and you think it's 98 degrees out. Well, it's only 70 out, or whatever it might be. So even showing that might not be a good indicator of what actually is the case.